In life, when you go through something that you did not really want it to happen, instantly your mind will create scenarios in your head that will create guilt and regret within you. And the very core reason for this is the mind hates acceptance. It will tell you that what you could have done, it will tell you that you could have behaved differently. But if you have not trained your mind to practice acceptance, it will never tell you that whatever has happened has already happened. Instead of trying to change the scenario, you have to accept it. And the major reason for this is the lack of awareness. Acceptance comes from awareness. And if you look closely, when we have regrets for what has happened in the past, in a way, we are judging the life. So when you judge something, you never learn something from it. You can never see the bigger picture when you are just so busy judging the life all the time. And this is why I love the saying that you don't have a life, you are life. The very force which flows through the entire existence, which is creating the life itself, it is flowing within you too. So in a way, when you're judging the experiences of life, you're judging yourself. So the root of our judgment towards life is our images, is our notions of good and bad. And they majorly come from our own conditioning. All the morality that people are forced to do does not come from their own consciousness. So your ideas of good and bad are borrowed from the collective hive mind. They are not really yours. And when you are an aware person, when you are guided by a consciousness, you don't even have to behave like a good person. You will naturally do that. Only when you do something that is bad in nature, which goes against your true nature, for that you will feel guilt and regrets. Because you have not chosen that. You did that out of an unconscious state, in a hypnotic trance-like state, which is called ignorance. You can only see a choice in life when you are aware. So the very right way to deal with life, to deal with these feelings of guilt and regrets, is to practice awareness. Everything that you are doing, be there completely. Realize that you are choosing this instead of doing that in an autopilot mode out of that unconscious state. And you will realize that a lot of times what we do, our choices are not really ours. They are governed by our senses. You see, the consciousness in you is experiencing life through the five senses, through this body. And when your awareness is limited to the body, you will naturally be governed by your senses. For example, you want to eat healthy, but you will again and again eat unhealthy if you are governed by your senses, by your body. But if you are practicing awareness, if you are practicing consciousness in every aspect of your life, it's not just limited to eating healthy. You will find that we have been conditioned to be toxic, to be violent with ourselves, with our bodies. So when you become grounded in that consciousness instead of this physical density, you are no longer governed by your senses, by your mind. You are guided by your consciousness. You become the master of your senses. You no longer have to forcefully stop yourself from eating toxic food, which you know is unhealthy for you. You will naturally start eating healthy food. You will realize that what you are doing is not something which is good for your own well-being, because you are conscious. You are conscious of your choice. And if you are governed by your senses, and if you want to overcome these things, any toxic habit like eating bad food, whenever you will eat that bad food again, you will feel guilty. Or in a relationship, you go back to the same person that you understand is toxic. You will feel guilt, you will feel regret. Because the act of going back, of doing those things, it is coming from that unconscious state. You will never do that if you are conscious, if you are aware. You take those actions from a hypnotic, ignorant mode. And only awareness can save you from that. When you are conscious, you see a choice. You see a choice that going back towards that toxic person, going back towards those toxic food will not help me. It will just create that loop again and again. Instead of that, I should break out from this cycle. I should choose something which will shift me towards another reality, towards a new me, towards my highest self. You can only think in this way, from this perspective, when you live from your consciousness, when you live from the point where you are experiencing life. You are not the experiencer of life. For the consciousness, this body is just an instrument. All the senses are just an instrument through which the life is being experienced. Now the quality of life depends on from which level of consciousness you are operating from. If your consciousness is limited to body, you will naturally be taking actions, making choices which give pleasure to the body. And sometimes everything which gives you temporary pleasure is not good for you. In the long run, it will definitely harm you, energetically as well. But on the other hand, when you are guided by the consciousness, when you are rooted in that, when you are a conscious person, there will be no room for guilt and regrets, because you will choose every experience. Even when something goes against you, you will understand that how the universe operates. You will see the deeper meaning behind it. You will see everything from a higher perspective, and your perspective will be very different from the perspective of the collective hive mind, the thinking of the masses. Everything which is normalized, everything which is natural for people, it will not be natural for you, because you will unlearn a lot of programs which are basically forced on you. And when people are in this ignorant mode, they try to compensate for their wrongdoings by doing something good, by doing something moral. They are just fooling themselves. This is a huge level of fragmentation, and the path of consciousness is all about integration. You don't have to compensate for anything. You are not obligated to anything. Just live life consciously, and naturally everything that you do will be moral, will be divine. A conscious person can never do anything wrong. You can't consciously do something which is very bad for the other person. You can only do that when you are ignorant, when you are not aware of what you are doing. So practice awareness. Work on cultivating that present moment awareness within you by practicing mindfulness. And the more you connect to that space of consciousness, the more you become rooted in it, the less you will be driven by this physical density. And that's how you become the master, the co-creator of your reality. Much love to you all.